Hello. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week. And we meet again for the, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times. But I do like keeping track of the shows. It leads to milestones. You know, this is the certain number show. Carl just did that. He had his 400th show when I appeared with him the other day on Who Are These Podcasts. You know, that was a great time. That was the show where
cars. Christmas, incredible. New York, come to Oregon, come here. Temperature, algorithms, incredible. Forecast, cripple.
In that appearance, I had Aram post that to the subreddit so that my friends on the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show subreddit can hear it. Most were like, I'm not even going to bother. He's such an asshole. I'm not going to fuck with him. I'm not even going to fucking listen to it. I did get someone who wrote this. It wasn't that bad. Eric really nailed home what's wrong with Free Beer and Hot Wings these days. They didn't really step out of line in my mind. They were very fair in my book. Eric didn't come off like a sour ass for being fired years and years ago, as some comments would suggest. It was more of taking funny shots, shit you would have heard if the group was still together today, mocking one another for the silliest things.
Cars. Christmas, incredible. New York, come to Oregon, come here.
Aram says the come to Oregon is a sing-songy way of talking that is annoying.
Temperature, algorithms, incredible. Forecast, cripple.
Maureen says, I just listened to it. You were great. Really intense there. Really gets going and then slowly fades. Glad to see you all here. Maureen is especially on my mind right now because Michigan is trying to get their act together when it comes to cracking down on people who abuse animals. And it's really kind of strange in my book that they have to rally to try to make it more punishable to hurt an animal. It shouldn't have to come to all of this time, energy, and money to make throwing the book at convicted animal abusers in Michigan a thing. In Michigan, animals are property. And that's just stupid. My dog, I can do whatever I want with it. The Project MI Pet initiative would establish a public registry of all convicted animal abusers in Michigan. Genesee County Sheriff Christopher Swanson said this isn't just, which is where Maureen works. She puts herself in harm's way with all sorts of wonderful volunteers to try to convince people who own these pets but don't take care of them to relinquish them. So they'll walk up to some house and the dog's chained to a cinder block with hardly any food, emaciated. Then they have to kind of like coax their way, sweet talk the owner. Hey, you don't even want this dog. Shit like that. It's really terrible that has to happen. But anyway, the sheriff says, this isn't just my own personal experience of 30 years being in law enforcement. I'm seeing the constant continuation of animal abuse and the worst cases. Here in West Michigan, we've had a lot of incidents where this has happened too. That muff tat dog bitch Lisa Kober of Kober's Canine Rescue in Norton Shores, not a rescue. That dumb bitch just would stockpile dogs and then, once a week take them to the pet store. And it's an adoption thing. Yeah, it's going to cost you this much to adopt this dog. And the dog hasn't had any care. It's got all sorts of issues, has no veterinarian care on it whatsoever. And people are adopting sick dogs that are near death. And the dogs are dying left and right. In fact, the various agencies that assumed responsibility of all that crazy bitch's 78 dogs, a number of which have passed. So that's all kind of hitting close to home. Right now, these guys are considered property, much like a car or a couch or any other type of object. Said Big Lake Humane Society shelter manager Velvet Light. Sounds like a stripper name. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Velvet Light. Girls, girls, girls. So once they are seized in a criminal activity, the dogs or cats are held as evidence or whatever pet, and we aren't allowed to adopt them out to a home, and criminal processes can take weeks, months, years even sometimes. So like Kober's canines are all in foster settings right now, and they might be there for a while because they got to use the dogs and pets as evidence to charge this crazy bitch. The initiative creates a 22-day maximum, Light said, so that's 3 weeks in the care of them being in the shelter, which is important because they don't need to sit in a kennel or even a foster home when they could be in a real home while their abuser is walking around free on bail. I got a better idea. Whenever anybody does this, just shoot him in the face. Wouldn't that be much easier? I mean, like we in the world have any use for some fucking maggot who abuses an animal. Demonstrators hope to encourage lawmakers to add the initiative to the 2024 election ballot. Until action is taken by the legislature, ballot initiatives like this one require a certain number of signatures from the public to make it onto an election ballot base. This number is based on how many people voted in the last election. So now they're saying that they need about 750,000 signatures, which will be needed for this initiative to make it to the 2024 ballot. So I think all they're looking to do is to make it so that the process can be expedited. That's all that's going on here. The initiative creates a 22-day maximum that the animals can be before they can be adopted out. So this isn't going to do anything to punish the bad people, I don't think, unless I'm missing something on the story. But yeah, all right, maybe that'll help to when in the aftermath of when this idiocy takes place. But my God, it should be like a mandatory life sentence for these idiots who do shit like this. I don't understand it. I can't make heads or tails of people who do this shit to an animal. Kenny writes, couldn't the shelters be made better places to be? Oh, well, they are. But you got to understand, just the simple idea, shelters aren't bad places to have animals, but you got to understand, it's loud, the dogs, there's a lot of barking dogs in there. And just that alone, that's just the tip of the iceberg of stress. Okay? It's not, I mean, look at behind me. All they have is my big mouth. Now imagine a large, echoey, cold room with a lot of noise. That alone, I mean, let's be honest. If I was in a room with you, Kenny, and you were there telling me 15-minute story after 15-minute story, I know I would be shaking and would probably throw myself out of the window. Oh, there you go again. What are you doing? It's a joke. It's a joke. Relax. So yeah, that's a little bit tough to pull that off. Even the best circumstances, like going over to Harbor. He says, I'm never telling you another thing ever again. Volunteers are needed. Things like that. My God. So that's just, it's ridiculous. Dear Meathead happens in 47 minutes. Dad joins us for Dear Meathead. You may notice something. This has been kind of bubbling under, but I think he, when he picks up the phone, a lot of times you'll hear in the background, say hello, say hello. Poor Joanne has to tell my dad to say hello. I think a lot of times he just picks it up and just puts it to his head. It's like, okay, now what? But once you get going on the conversation, he's okay. He's all right. Let's see what else I want to talk about here. I can't even read my. Oh, it's warm out. Today's going to be near 80 degrees. Now this is like this whole area of the Midwest is hot as hell, warm. But don't look now, but at the start of next week, snow is back in the forecast. What? Unbelievable. Yesterday, I was so excited. I sat down here and I busted out some karaoke, and it was Judas Priest, living after midnight. And it's crazy because you just sit down, you sing the karaoke song, you go, oh my God, everybody's going to love this. And then you post it. And then later on, you listen back and you go, that sounds like fucking shit. Oh my God, so embarrassing. But I had fun. I think you can make it through about 13 seconds of it, of the singing, before you realize this is terrible. Honestly, it wasn't that different than Tyler says, good. We need cool weather as long as possible while I save up for an AC. Are you calling Joe Martinez? Going back to Kenny and his unedited Moby Dick length stories. Books that are shorter reading time than a normal Kenny conversation. War and Peace. The Bible. The entire Harry Potter series. The Chronicles of Narnia. Moby Dick. Nosferatu. You could read all of those and Kenny would still be telling you a story. The Stand. Tommy Knockers. It. Les Miserables. Hey, so anyway, I woke up and, my God. Just that would take like half an hour. Encyclopedia Britannica A through Z. I'll never forget when Kenny visited me. I woke up, turned off the fan, and right away I could hear. So anyway, yeah, I mean, he's talking, and I open up the door, and then I can hear, yeah, yeah, and it's like the NFK. He's listening to the story, and I don't know if he was genuinely listening or because it's tough to get the NFK to focus on anything. And God knows what Kenny was talking about, but man, he's jabberjaws. Just flapping gums. Were you was it a scenario when you were in grade school where they're like, "Okay, can we just get you to stop talking so you can pay attention to the lesson?" Is there any way you can just, I mean, seriously, or we're going to send you to the principal's office? Holy shit. Aram says the NFK can't get up and walk away that easily. Kenny says, hey, we had some good conversations. He talked about throwing salt all over your kitchen, knowing it'd piss you off. Which, by the way, I'd have a conversation with him the other day. So he rarely like washes his hands outside of like taking a shower. I doubt water actually, or he intentionally washes his hands. So an entire day of ass picking and tobacco chewing leads to grime ground onto the hand. And then he'll brush his teeth, and then the water from the toothbrush in his mouth will run down the toothbrush onto his hand. And then, now what most people would do is wash the hands or at least rinse them off and dry them. But no, not him. So his hands soaked with toothpaste jizz and a mix and a blend of toothpaste jizz and grime. And then he'll open the drawer where he keeps the toothpaste and put the toothpaste and the toothbrush back in there. And then he'll touch the outside of the drawer and close it. And so the toothpaste salt chew, as Kenny says, grime, then is now on the front of that drawer face. And then it just drips down like 4 streaks from 4 fingers. And it's like a gray ash look. And, then I have to clean that. And then I had to corner him. And I said, hey, and explain to him the mechanism of what's happening there. I go, can you rinse your hands off, wash them, and then dry them so that they're clean, and then proceed with touching things? Oops. I think something was playing while I wasn't. That shouldn't have happened. I don't know what that was. Something else was playing for some reason. I think it was a news story. Oh. All right. That kind of threw me off. What else am I going to talk about? Oh, and then he all of these years of, before he moved in with us, toothbrushing or brushing teeth did not happen. And so one day then he's getting pain in the teeth. They're literally falling apart. And that has led to these appearances at the dentist. And, this stuff takes time. They got to get you in. They got a schedule. So he's got another one coming up in May, a month away. But meanwhile, the teeth keep hurting. And he walks up to me yesterday. Way too close to me. He's a close talker. And he's standing about 3 inches away from me. And he's like, hey, can you call Dr. Lee? Yeah, what's up, buddy? There's one right here. This canine tooth is on right here. this thing. Look it. And I don't want to. But there's a lot of carny tooth appearances going on. There's a multitude of various shades of brown in there. And you look at it hurts. This one right here hurts. You see? Can you see what it's doing? And I'm like, and I didn't want to look, and I just kind of glance over, and I see it looks like my backyard after a winter full of dog shit. And I go, yep, I see it. You put it. He's putting a call for me. I gotta get this one taken care of too. Fuck me. Maureen says, is he still chewing tobacco? Yes. Oh my God, yes. That is from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed, 14 hours of tobacco in it. He has tobacco in his mouth more hours of the day than he does sleeping. Tobacco, coffee, and feces. That's what is in his mouth the most. Feces from his ass to his hands to his mouth. So now when he sat down with the endocrinologist and she said, you're not drinking anymore, you're going to die. That scared the shit out of him. I'll never forget that. She goes, you have cirrhosis. He goes, what? Yes. It's very, and you're lucky because I normally talk to people and I have one of two conversations, like the one I'm having with you now, where I'm telling you it's early, or I'm saying you have 2 years to live to them, because that's what cirrhosis does. You have to stop drinking immediately. And, then he's like, well, what about once in a while? No, not once in a while. None. Period. Cold turkey. No more drinking at all. Not non-alcoholic beer. Nothing. The cellular makeup of your liver is being destroyed with scar tissue, and there's no going back. Every bit of it that's destroyed by alcohol, and every sip of it is destroying more of your liver. You will die a painful death. She was so matter of fact, this doctor. And he's like, she put the fear of God in him. He hadn't had a drink since. So, I don't even think that all of his teeth falling out of his head is going to help him. He's going to have someone tell him he's going to die. Someone who's an expert saying he's going to die if you don't stop. Yeah, it's rough. But then where do you draw the line? I mean, people got to live. How do you feel about that? I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like you're in a weird spot with him about what you should tell him to do. And Ryan says if he has no teeth, he can't chew tobacco, but maybe he's good with that. Well, again, he doesn't really chew. He just puts it in between his tooth and teeth, his gums, and his lip. We shall see. Kenny says, poor guy, he can't enjoy anything he likes anymore, LOL, except watching TV for 16 hours solid each day. Brandon says, he could die if he doesn't stop. Chewing causes cancer and shit. Oh, I know. He knows that. He's well aware of that. I don't think he gives a shit, frankly. Oh, my God. All right. So that's part of what I have going on today. Ran into Team Knuckle Dragger yesterday at the gym. Informed them that I talked to them about them putting the fart machine right by me when I was doing the ab exercises to make it sound like I was farting. As we welcome in Brandis. Thank you for the encouragement, Kenny. To play that again. Play it again one more time. No compression and no spark in the car. It's like Brandis's walk-up music when she arrives. Oh, my God. Kenny says that should be the new subscriber. Chris says that should be the new subscriber noise. I think I can do that. But I don't have time. Or the know-how. Or the ability to remember. Need a Kelly laugh track for the opening of Black Sabbath Sweet Leaf. Maureen says, never tell this crowd you don't like something. LOL. All right. Sorry, I'm just kind of meandering around topics here. I need questions for Dear Meathead again. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Send them along. I've got a few, but I always like a few more. I like to have a little bit too many. Just a little bit heavy on the questions so that I don't run out. Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have a question for Dad on Dear Meathead, who is, with the warmer weather, he's outside, and he's like, oh, my God, there's leaves. Still leftover leaves that fell over the winter, and he is just batty about that, picking him up one at a time. For you folks that are enjoying the show on Facebook, at Eric Zane fan page on Facebook, at Eric Zane Show on Twitter, Eric Zane Show on YouTube. I'm about to send you on your way. As you know, you can get the full show uninterrupted live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That's where you go. Again, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Or download the Twitch app. And then once you do that, you can follow the page, comment on what we're talking about, things like that. The audio podcast is available to download wherever you download shows. And if you ever need anything, want to talk to me directly, the quickest way to do that is send me an email, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Kenny says, Eric needs commands like other Twitch peeps have, or maybe the spending channel points to play stuff. I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but that's okay. I kind of just like talking about the things that I have to talk about. But I'm stubborn and old-fashioned. So that's my fault. All right. Thank you, folks. I will now send you on your way, except for the folks on Twitch.